When I was sworn in on Monday, I've been in office a full 4 days or something like that, I described my vision for Ohio. I outlined several major themes. We can become the leader for entrepreneurial capitalism. We in Ohio have a rich history of entrepreneurs building successful businesses that create and sustain large numbers of jobs. Think of the many Fortune 500 companies we have and have had right here in Northeast Ohio. Companies like Eaton, Goodyear, American Greetings, Sherwin-Williams, and KeyCorp, just to name a few. These companies did not move here. They started and they grew up here. Now is the time to remake Ohio in the spirit of the great entrepreneurs of our history. By expanding existing programs that are working, like the Third Frontier, and by adopting a package of new targeted tax credits and incentives, such as an Ohio New Markets tax credit to promote new businesses in Ohio, and a program enabling startups to sell their net operating losses. We can also become a center for green-collar jobs, stimulating a substantial market by tying state funds for capital projects to meeting energy efficiency requirements, authorizing state and local governments to issue bonds for energy efficiency projects, and creating an Ohio Energy Resource Center based at one of our state universities to provide expertise and resource referrals. As Mayor Jackson knows, the state can help spur and needs to help spur a rebirth of our urban centers, and one approach would be to create a compact between the state and Ohio cities. The state could offer benefits to our core communities, such as waiving income taxes on newly created jobs, increasing the state's share of school construction projects, and facilitating free broadband services. Cities choosing to participate in the compact would incur obligations, including participation in state purchasing cooperatives and participation in a review of services like fire and waste collection to determine if they could be provided more effectively on a regional basis, with an agreement to abide by the results. We can offer all Ohio students a broad range of high-quality educational opportunities not currently available to them through the thoughtful use of technology. For example, top-quality, interactive, advanced placement and foreign language classes can be provided via television or over the internet. Yes, we must balance the budget, but we must also continue investing in our future. Tax credits and incentives cost money and must be considered in the context of the entire budget. Many will only be possible if we can find adequate resources. But as President Abraham Lincoln said, determine that the thing can and shall be done, and then we shall find the way. While we face a historic budget deficit, there is no deficit in the spirit and creativity of Ohioans. And it is that renewable energy that will enable us to move Ohio forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Budish. Today we also have, and I guess he got his introduction already, but I think I'll give it in all the same. We have State Representative and Minority Leader Bill William Batchelder to share his thoughts on Ohio's fiscal and economic crisis. Representative Batchelder previously served in the Ohio legislature for 30 years and returned to the Ohio House of Representatives in January of 2007. He represents the 69th House District, which includes portions of Medina County. Representative Batchelder is deeply involved in the community. He currently serves as a member of the Board of Governors of the Masonic Learning Center for Children, an organization that treats children with dyslexia. He is also a member of the Ohio Farm Bureau, Medina County Township Association, and the Grange, as well as the Vietnam Veterans of America and the American Legion. He has spent 31 years as an attorney at the Williams and Batchelder law firm in Medina. He also serves as an adjunct professor at the University of Akron and Cleveland State University, and has acted as a judge for the Medina County Common Pleas Court and the 9th District Court of Appeals. Representative Batchelder received his bachelor's degree from Ohio Wesleyan University and his law degree from the Ohio State University College of Law. He currently resides in Medina with his wife, with whom he has 2 adult children. Please welcome William Batchelder to the City Club.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that introduction. I was introduced recently as a distinguished Buckeye legislator and felt pretty good about that. And looked up a Buckeye in the dictionary, found that it was a hairless nut of no commercial value. And so that was much nicer. Thank you. It's kind of fun to be where we are today. Armond Budish and I were called together by Representative Boyd right after the election 2 years ago, and I don't think there would be too many people who would have bet that either one of us would be where we are today. I know my goal was to go up those steps you went up on Monday to be sworn in, but we have been friends, and it's important at this time in Ohio's history that we have people who are willing to work together, and I'm looking forward to working with our Speaker, of course, because that's the obligation of every member of the House of Representatives, and I have worked closely with Governor Strickland, particularly in the area of workers' compensation. I had the honor of chairing the Insurance Committee, and the Speaker sent the Workers' Comp Reform Bill over to us, and it was a small bill, about 240 pages. And after we waded through it and worked with the Governor, I was very pleased with his attitude toward changes that were made by the General Assembly. We had a method of communication back and forth on a weekly basis, and that provided a real change in the atmosphere at the Bureau of Workers' Compensation, which God knows needed it. And consequently, we've been able to move Ohio ahead, I think, in a number of ways. I want to say before I get into the central part of my remarks that it isn't all bad news. The economy is in tough shape. On the other hand, when you turn to Congress to provide leadership in a financial area, I'm not surprised. And I don't think any of us should be. The basic real estate bubble and subsequent explosion in the real estate markets and the impact that it had in banking and international banking at the end of the day was almost guaranteed based upon the programs which predicated some of the investments that were made in the banking and investment structure. But Ohio schools, most recently, in Education Week's Quality Counts report, indicate that Ohio is number 6 among all the states in the nation in primary secondary education. I think that's the kind of thing that we should be proud of and we should keep in mind as we look at the problems. Some of the things that are going on obviously are going to be very, very difficult for us. But the other side of it is that some good things have been done and are being done in the state of Ohio, and they're very important. First of all, this is not the worst economy I've seen. Of course, I started in the House when I was 24 years old at 1968, actually. Lyndon Johnson was still president. Those of you with historical grasp will recall that. And in 1982-83, when a friend of mine, Dick Celeste, was sworn in as governor of the state of Ohio, our unemployment rate was 13.8%. So I think we have to keep in mind that some of these people who are wringing their hands and generally acting as if this is the end of the world as we know it, worst thing since the Great Depression, in most terms are not accurate. It's bad enough. It's bad enough. But I was amazed when they put the President of the United States on television to tell everybody the world as we knew it was coming to an end and that we had to spend $1 trillion, for example. Well, we spent $1 trillion. I guess we're still at the end of the world. And I guess they're going to spend another $1 trillion. I'm not sure that the kind of guidance that we're getting from Washington, D.C. is particularly helpful. The predicate upon which we're proceeding is that the state of Ohio faces a situation which is different from other areas. The Cleveland metropolitan area's population has declined since 1998 by 2.5%, but payrolls have shrunk by 4.9%.